instructions. This is a hanger, but it looks like it comes out, extends up. I can't figure out how. Not worried about it anyways. But I did discover, so loosen it, extend it, that I knew. But apparently if you turn down, you can turn it. Okay, that's the way it was. I forgot I already did that. I don't know what you're doing here. Okay, that's right. Now you can turn it 90 degrees or 180 degrees, and this guard, it goes on the ground and it becomes an edger. There's a spider web in here already, just since yesterday afternoon. Wow. Sorry, spider. That's amazing. Just since yesterday, spider took over. That's kind of cool. Doesn't mean anything to me. I don't have a use for an edger anyways, but I thought that was kind of neat. And as far as the charger goes, the flashing light means it's charging. When it's solid, it's done. There goes the spider web. Works. Okay, I gotta go. It's like 200 degrees in here. That's like super hot. It's early, it's only 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's already this hot in here. It's not gonna get any cooler until tonight. Today's the last hot day for a while. It's dropping down to the very low 20s. It's possible if I go out after today, I might have to wear pants. Right at that temperature, so that will cool things off. It's supposed to be rainy, so if the sun's not out, it's not going to be super hot in the garage. I might actually be able to come out and get something done on the monster finally. We'll find out. So I guess set the camera up on the monster and get out of this oven. due to the possible failing of my motor. You may remember I said I wasn't going to come down here again because it's, pretty steep coming back up. Well, I've noticed a bit of a pattern, what affects the motor and what doesn't. So I have been coming down here because it's not going to be an issue, at least I don't believe it is. On this particular day I'm coming down here for a reason. And when I went across the highway bridge, I noticed the river was really, really low, like very abnormally low. So I come down here to take a look at the dam, and I'd say probably 90% of the water is coming out of one opening. There's 3 openings there, and they're usually pretty uniform, same amount of water coming through each. And I noticed that there was, all seemed to be concentrated on one side. And I can't really see it from this vantage point. I'll take a look at it from the other side of the river, and I'll continue with the story and show you what I think might be happening. But at this point, I'm confused. The boards that they put in there to dam up the water, there's a couple that were pretty rotted that they had set off to the side. But the ones that were in there aren't any excess laying around, so it doesn't look like they've taken any out. So I thought maybe, well, we do have some storms coming up. Maybe they're lowering the water level in preparation for some possible flooding. That's the only thing I could think of. But if that was the case, then I would see these boards laying around somewhere. And I'm not seeing them. So I'll get a little more clarity when I show from the other side. But as far as coming down here and the motor issue, I will give an update on that and explain to you the pattern that I'm recognizing. I'll explain that in an upcoming video when it's relevant, as there will be a point where I'm going to bring that up, and the reason I'm going to bring that up. So for now, continue on with my tour, and I'm going to head out onto the highway. And on my way there, a scanner goes off for another MVC. About this time, the scanner goes off and slow down a bit to listen to it. And when I hear where it is, I start speeding up again because I'm heading that direction anyways. And I'm kind of hoping to get out to the highway in time to see the trucks going by. But I got a ways to go, so I'm not sure if I'm going to make it. So I'm going to play the call in real time as I'm hearing it. And see how close I get to catching the trucks on video.
Attention North Shore and Wingham firefighters, please attend at Amberley Road and Norman Line for 2-vehicle MVC. That's at Amberley Road and Norman Line for 2-vehicle MVC. Attention North Shore and Wingham firefighters, please attend at Amberley Road and Norman Line 2 vehicle and the C. That's at Amberley Road and Norman Line. Attention, North Huron Blythe firefighters. This is an information page only. Wingham has just been paged to Amberley Road and Norman Line for 2 vehicle and the C. That's at Amberley Road and Norman Line.
Fire dispatch, North Erie, car 4.
Car 4, go ahead.
Car 4 acknowledges the page for the Wingate Station for an MBC Norman Line. Wingate Station will be responding.
Roger, page received and responding.
As fast as the monster is, at times like this, I just wish I could squeeze out just a little more speed.
Fire dispatch, North Huron engine 1.
Engine 1, go ahead.
Fire dispatch, you can show North Huron engine 1 responding to Amberley Road, Norman Line for MBC Charlie +4 belted.
Roger that, engine 1 responding, Charlie +4 belted.
Fire dispatch, tank 4 responding, 2 firefighters belted.
Roger, tank 4 responding, 2 belted at 1433. go ahead. Sorry, car 2, you were mostly static there. I copied car 2 responding.
Yeah, that's correct, Roger.
Roger that.
Northern Fire Dispatch, you can show squad 5 with car 4 responding as well.
Fire unit calling. Can you go ahead again? You're all static.
Yeah, Fire Dispatch, you can show car 4 responding as well in squad 5.
Roger, I copy car 4 and squad 5 responding at 1436.
Fire Dispatch, Engine 1, arriving on scene, Charlie View Command. Command will be mobile.
Roger, Engine 1, you're on scene. Charlie in command. Command will be mobile at 1437. Roger, Tank 4 on scene, 1438.
Fire Dispatch, North here in command.
Go ahead, command. Command, if you copy, go ahead for dispatch.
Dispatch, you can show Huron County OVP on scene, Huron County EMS arriving scene. We have a 2-vehicle MVC. 1 car in the southbound ditch, 1 car rolled into the northbound ditch. Both occupants are out, and patient contact made by fire.
Roger that, I copied. OPP's on scene, EMS is on scene, 2-vehicle MVC, 1 car in the southbound ditch, 1 rolled into the northbound ditch. Patient contact has been made by fire. It's 1440.
Tank 4, call command. Fire Dispatch, North here in command.
Go ahead for dispatch, command.
You can show EMS supervisor on scene. Patients are being tended to by Huron County EMS. Fire will be assisting OPP and traffic control. It will be disconnecting the batteries on both vehicles.
Roger that. EMS supervisors on scene, fire assisting OPP with traffic and disconnection of batteries on both vehicles. Patients being tended to by EMS, 1443.
Fire Dispatch, North here in command.
Go ahead, command.
Dispatch, you can show 2nd Huron County EMS on scene as well as 2nd Huron County OPP on scene.
Roger, command, I copy 2nd EMS unit on scene and also a 2nd OPP unit on scene at 1448.
Like I said in a previous video, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's more traffic out or whatever, but the streak hasn't ended yet, and not even for today. So for now, I head back to the river and kind of show you what I was talking about. And you can see just how low it is. The pond lilies that were floating on the water are now on dry land. And this is like early spring level from when the dam is open. But if you look, you can see the boards are in there. So I was kind of wondering if one of them broke and just kind of let the water through. I'm not sure. So from here, I did the trails and went out to my fire resting place by the community center. Oh, I can't think tonight. And take my last break before heading home. Here I am cruising around the back of the property, and I hear sirens again. So I'm looking, there's two OPP cruisers, and they're coming from the direction of Blythe and heading towards Listowel. There's nothing on the scanner, so fire department isn't involved in this one. And then when I'm sitting here relaxing, I hear another siren. And this one's an ambulance coming from the opposite direction and heading towards Blythe. So it's definitely a busy day for emergency services. And I'm not going to play the call, but the Blythe Fire Department got called to a grass fire. And while they were en route, they were told they weren't needed, so they canceled and came back. And I remember when the call came in, I was at home at that time. And I remember thinking, it's like, wow, a hot day like today, out fighting a fire, that's not good. So, it's kind of good that they got canceled. So, at this point, the sun is not at its full strength, because we have the remnants of Hurricane Hannah, I think it was, that's on its way in. And there's kind of a haze in the sky, but it's pretty solid. There's no breaks in it or anything. And I'm sitting here, and you see me look up at the sun. All of a sudden, it got really, really powerful. And it felt like my skin was shriveling. I've never experienced anything like it. And it lasted for about a minute, maybe less. And it went back to normal. So I looked up at the clouds. There's no break in the clouds. And so, okay, I just shrugged it off. And then it happens again. And I look up at the clouds again. There's no break there, so I don't know. So I don't know if the sun just suddenly got really super powerful, super strong, energetic, or if there's something going on with the atmosphere, like a weak spot or something that allowed everything through. I don't know. But it actually scared me. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. And it was so powerful. And it was to the point where I couldn't handle it. So I got kind of spooked, and I just kind of went straight home from here. So I have no explanation for that. And like I said before, it's like, I keep hearing this phrase, grand solar minimum. Well, I've never felt the sun that powerful ever in my life, and it's the first time that I remember not being able to handle direct sunlight. It's kind of scary and kind of freaky. So I'm just kind of interested if anybody else has experienced this, because I haven't heard anybody say anything. So I spoke before about the grand solar minimum, and apparently what that means is the sun is at its weakest point in its cycle. I don't know about that. I was out today. I stopped. I got off and did a bit of a walk just to get some action in my legs. Another wasp in here. I wonder if they're building another nest. And I got back on the scooter and parked where I normally park. And all of a sudden the sun just got so powerful. Something's happening. It was literally frying me. And it lasted about a minute, and then everything was normal. So just sitting there taking my break, finishing off. And then it happened again. And it's like I had to leave. I had to get moving to get some air blowing on me. It was just the first time in my life that I haven't been able to handle the full direct sunlight. Something's different. Something's happening. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of freaked me out, because it's just like normal. I'm not wearing a shirt. I got my smile. This is when I sit, I slouch, so my skin just kind of folds over. It doesn't get exposed to the sun, so I call that my summer smile. But it's just something, I don't know. It was so hot, it was so powerful. I couldn't handle sitting in it. And even my arms, I got a nice tan on my arms, but it just started burning. So I never finished my tour. I came straight home. I said I gotta get out of the sun, and I've never had that issue ever. The only time I really had any kind of problem with being in the sun is if I'm doing something, if I'm working. I was considering cutting the grass at the front of the house. It still needs to be done, but you know, I'm not even going to take my weed whacker out and do out here like I was going to. But it's just too much. So I guess this is kind of maybe one blast of heat before the cooler weather gets here. And looking at the sky, the clouds that are out there, and I was looking at the radar earlier. This might be the remnants of the hurricane, the Texas hurricane. It's coming from that direction, and just its appearance on radar, I'm just wondering if that's what it is. But you know, that's got nothing to do with the sun. The clouds. That's just kind of the impression I'm getting. So I wasn't sure if I was going to make it home before it rained or not, because it isn't too far away. It isn't supposed to be here till this evening, but you know, you never know when there's going to be pop-ups ahead of it. So I guess that's my comments for today. Emergency services are going crazy today. I crashed yesterday, I crashed today, and then while I was getting roasted by the sun, 2 OPP came from the direction of Blythe and went towards Listowel, and I heard another siren. It was an ambulance coming from the hospital, and it went towards Blythe. So a lot of activity out there today. And I only listen to the fire department, so I don't know what else is going on. But I gotta get in the house. As hot as my bedroom gets, it's nothing compared to out here. This garage is absolutely horrible. So hopefully the temperature cools down a little bit, like they say it's going to. And if it does, then I guess it's time to start doing some work on the Munster here. I really want to get it cleaned up. As far as this creaky hinge goes, it is getting so annoying. It's so loud and it's so embarrassing. And I had some lubricant I think it was a couple days ago. I just soaked the joints. It didn't make any difference. It actually sounds louder now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bolt out, and hopefully things don't fall apart. I'm hoping there's a shaft inside, and this just kind of swivels on it, and this just keeps everything together. I'm hoping. I'm kind of worried about taking that out, but I'm going to stick the jack up under here just in case, so it doesn't fall to the ground. Because what I'm thinking is the lubricant's not doing anything, and if I drive in the rain, the tire's right here and the water's spraying all over that joint, it goes quiet. It's dead silent. So the water is acting like a lubricant. The lubricant itself is not. So I'm kind of thinking it's been exposed to the salt. So if water can get in there, which it obviously is, that means the salt's in there too. So it may be rusty inside, and that might be what's causing the creak. I don't know. I'm guessing at this point. Because like I say, I absolutely soaked it yesterday, or a couple days ago. Whenever it was I lubricated it, I absolutely soaked it. And it had no effect. And as soon as I drive in the rain, first puddle I go through, it's quiet. So I'm thinking, if I take that bolt out, this might just be an end cap or something on the end here, I don't know. So I'm going to take it off if I can. I'm going to see what's going on inside. And if it's rusty in there, the bolt itself might be rusty. You'll see how the threads look. If I can even, unscrew it at this point. And I'll just load it up with lubricant from the inside and see what happens. I'm out of ideas. But like I say, I gotta try something because it's so loud. Oh, dizzy, dizzy, dizzy. It's so loud. I gotta do something about it. It's very embarrassing. So I guess maybe that'll be one of my jobs. I don't know if it'll be my first one, but it'll definitely be one of them. So I'm not wishing for cooler weather, but you know, it's supposed to be here, so I'm kind of hoping I can take advantage of it and get some stuff done. So that's about all I can handle. I gotta go in. It's too hot out here, and that's a lot coming from me.